Welcome, Moon Seekers. In today's video, we're diving deep into the powerful energies of the waning crescent moon in February 2025. If you're feeling a bit off or uncertain, this lunar phase has some important messages for you that you won't want to miss. So, grab a comfy seat, take a deep breath, and let's explore how this moon can help you release the past and prepare for an exciting new beginning. As we approach the waning crescent phase of the moon in February 2025, it's important to recognize the significance of this phase and the potential impact it can have on our lives. The waning crescent moon is a time when the energy of the lunar cycle is slowly fading, and this brings both challenges and opportunities for introspection and growth. During the waning crescent, the moon is essentially wrapping up its cycle, preparing to renew itself with the new moon. This period is often associated with closure and release, making it an ideal time for letting go of things that no longer serve you. Whether it's outdated habits, unhealthy relationships, or old emotional baggage, the waning crescent offers a chance to clear the clutter in both your external and internal world. This is also a time when things might feel a little more uncertain. The energy of the moon is at its lowest point, and some may experience heightened emotions, confusion, or a sense of fatigue. If you're not careful, you may find yourself feeling more drained than usual, or perhaps struggling with clarity and decision-making. It's essential during this phase to slow down and focus on self-care. Overcommitting yourself or engaging in significant new projects might not be the best approach during this time. The waning crescent is also closely connected to the themes of surrender. This is a time to release control and trust that everything will fall into place. Many people may feel drawn to reflect deeply on their goals and aspirations, but it's important to remember that this phase isn't about pushing forward. Instead, it's about accepting what has been and making peace with it, knowing that there is a fresh start just around the corner. A common warning during the waning crescent is to avoid starting new ventures or making drastic life changes. The energy required to initiate something new simply isn't as strong as it would be during a waxing moon. Instead, focus on clearing space for new beginnings by closing old chapters. This is a time to rest and prepare for the new moon, which is the perfect time to set intentions and begin anew. Additionally, the waning crescent brings a warning about the importance of introspection. It can be easy to overlook the subtle messages of your inner world during times of activity and outward focus, but the waning crescent asks you to look inward, reflect on what you've learned and how you've grown. It's a time to connect with your inner wisdom and embrace any lessons that have come from past experiences. As February 2025's waning crescent moon approaches, remember that this phase is not about rushing forward or forcing progress. It's about finding closure, releasing what no longer serves you, and preparing for the new beginnings that lie ahead. Trust the process, take time to rest, and honor the cycle of renewal that will soon begin with the new moon. As the waning crescent moon continues to draw us into its quiet, reflective energy, it becomes more evident that this is not a time for haste or pushing boundaries. Instead, it is a period that encourages slowing down, embracing stillness, and listening deeply to what our intuition has to say. The waning crescent invites us to release any unnecessary burdens that may have accumulated over time, whether they are physical, emotional, or mental. This is also a time when external influences may feel more intense. With the diminishing light of the moon, you may find yourself more sensitive to the energies around you, both positive and negative. It's crucial during this time to be mindful of your environment and the people you surround yourself with. If you feel drained or overwhelmed by certain situations or relationships, it might be the universe's way of telling you to retreat and seek solitude. Pay attention to any feelings of exhaustion, irritability, or negativity, as they can be signals to detach from harmful influences. One of the most profound aspects of the waning crescent is the opportunity for emotional healing. This is a time to dive into your feelings, allowing yourself to acknowledge and process any unresolved emotions. Perhaps there are past hurts that need healing, or maybe there are lingering fears holding you back. The waning crescent offers a quiet space for these emotions to surface, providing the chance to release them with love and compassion. Allow yourself the grace to mourn, to grieve, or to simply reflect on the journey that has brought you here. It's a time of deep emotional cleansing that sets the stage for emotional rebirth with the new moon. Another key warning during the waning crescent phase is to avoid making impulsive decisions. The energy of this phase is not conducive to fast-paced action or making rushed judgments. Instead, it's a time to patiently allow things to unfold at their own pace. Trust that what you need will come when the time is right, and that now is the moment to pause, take a step back, and observe rather than engage. The universe has its own rhythm, and the waning crescent reminds us that trying to force change or force outcomes before the cycle is complete will only lead to frustration and unnecessary stress. This period also encourages introspection about the goals you've set for yourself and the progress you've made so far. Reflecting on past efforts and decisions gives you the opportunity to reassess and learn. Are you still aligned with your true purpose? Are there goals that need adjusting or paths that need to be abandoned? The waning crescent asks you to have the courage to let go of what isn't working and trust in your ability to rebuild from a place of clarity. During this time, mindfulness practices such as meditation, journaling, or simply taking quiet walks can be incredibly powerful. These practices help quiet the mind, allowing you to connect with your inner self and the deeper wisdom that resides within. By slowing down and creating space for introspection, you create an opportunity to enter the new moon cycle with a renewed sense of purpose and direction. While the waning crescent asks us to release, it also reminds us of the power of surrender. Sometimes the most empowering choice is to accept what is and release the need to control every outcome. There is strength in knowing when to let go, in allowing life to unfold naturally without forcing your hand. As the moon moves closer to its new phase, trust that the universe is always guiding you toward your highest good. What is meant for you will not pass you by. As we continue through the waning crescent phase, it's important to recognize that the energy of this time is deeply tied to cycles of completion. The moon is almost at its darkest, and with that comes the ultimate invitation to turn inward, reflect, and heal. This is not the time to force new projects or to push against the natural rhythms of life. Instead, it's an opportunity to embrace rest, to acknowledge how far you've come, and to gracefully close any chapters that are ready to be finished. When navigating the waning crescent, the importance of surrender cannot be overstated. This phase asks us to give up the need to control outcomes and trust in the natural flow of life. It's an invitation to let go of any lingering resistance, whether it's to circumstances, people, or even your own internal struggles, and trust that everything is unfolding as it should. This can be difficult, especially for those who are accustomed to pushing forward or staying busy. But this period of stillness has a very potent energy if we allow ourselves to settle into it. You might feel tempted to rush ahead, to make plans or take action before the cycle is complete, but the moon warns against this impulse. If you find yourself struggling with feelings of urgency, take a step back and allow yourself to sit with that tension. Understand that the answers you seek may not come immediately, and that's okay. There is wisdom in waiting, and sometimes it's in the quiet spaces that we are given the most valuable insights. Another critical aspect to pay attention to during this waning crescent is the need to release emotional baggage. Past wounds, grudges, or unresolved pain can create a heavy weight on your spirit, and this phase asks you to shed that weight in preparation for the fresh energy of the new moon. Healing doesn't happen overnight, but this is the time to make peace with your past and embrace the potential for emotional freedom. By consciously choosing to let go, you're creating space for a new chapter to unfold, one that is lighter and more aligned with your highest self. The waning crescent is a gentle reminder that even in moments of darkness, and there is power. While it's easy to feel disconnected or uncertain during this phase, remember that darkness is not inherently negative. It is the fertile soil from which new growth emerges. Just as seeds need the cover of darkness to take root and develop, so too do our dreams and aspirations need moments of quiet reflection and retreat to grow into something meaningful. Embrace the dark as a place of potential, knowing that your efforts in the coming days will begin to sprout when the time is right. During this time, it's also beneficial to focus on cleansing, both physically and spiritually. Clearing your space, cleaning your home, or organizing your surroundings can provide a sense of clarity. Just as you clear away physical clutter, The act of spiritual cleansing can be equally important. Take time to meditate, to journal your thoughts and emotions, or to engage in practices that allow you to purge old beliefs, fears, or thought patterns. A cleansing ritual can be as simple as lighting a candle with an intention to release negativity or engaging in deep breath work to let go of what is no longer serving you. While this phase might feel like a quiet, almost unproductive period, remember that it is just as significant as the times of activity. It is in these moments of stillness that we process, heal, and prepare for the renewal that the new moon will bring. Embrace the fact that the universe has its own timing, and sometimes that timing requires us to pause and reflect before taking the next step. When you allow yourself the space to breathe, to rest, and to reflect, you come to understand that there is a rhythm to life that goes beyond mere action. The waning crescent also calls us to look at the bigger picture. It's a time to contemplate what has brought you to this point in your journey and how the lessons learned along the way have shaped you. This reflective energy provides clarity on what is truly important and helps to guide your intentions for the future. While you might not be making bold moves now, rest assured that the work being done on a deeper, more spiritual level is just as vital as any outward action. As the waning crescent slowly gives way to the new moon, know that the period of rest and release will soon come to an end. The darkened sky will give birth to a new cycle, one filled with new possibilities and opportunities. But for now, the task is clear. Embrace the quiet, the stillness, and the introspection. Trust that this time of rest is exactly what you need to emerge stronger, clearer, and more aligned with your true purpose when the new moon finally arrives. In these final days of the lunar cycle, take comfort in knowing that every ending carries the seed of a new beginning. The waning crescent has done its work, and now it's time to prepare for the renewal that the new moon will bring. Let go of the old, cleanse the energy around you, and surrender to the natural rhythms of life. As the final moments of the waning crescent moon approach, the quietude becomes even more profound, urging us to sink deeper into our inner world. The energies of this time are not to be rushed or ignored, but rather embraced with patience and reverence. It's a moment for final reflections before the new lunar cycle begins, a time to look inward and ask yourself the big questions. What do I truly need to release? What no longer serves my highest good, and how can I allow it to dissolve from my life? In this sacred space, the energy of the universe supports you in purging and healing, ensuring that when the new moon rises, you are clear and aligned with your authentic self. During these last days of the waning crescent, take the opportunity to forgive, whether it's forgiving others or forgiving yourself. Holding on to grudges, guilt, or regret only weighs you down and prevents you from fully stepping into the new opportunities that await you. Use this time to cut cords that have kept you bound to the past. It's not about forgetting what happened, but about acknowledging that holding on to old pain prevents you from evolving. This phase is about emotional liberation, about freeing yourself from the stories and patterns that have shaped you for so long, and opening up the possibility of something new and brighter ahead. Remember, the waning crescent is a time of integration. It's about gathering all the lessons from the previous cycles, integrating them into your being, and preparing to release what is no longer aligned with your soul's path. Reflect on the intentions you set during the last new moon and evaluate how far you've come. You may have encountered challenges, but every obstacle has offered growth and wisdom. Now is the time to appreciate how far you've come, to acknowledge the hard work you've put into your growth, and to honor yourself for staying the course. One of the most profound things about this phase is its invitation to rest. Often in our fast-paced world, we overlook the importance of rest and stillness. We feel pressured to always be producing, achieving, and moving forward. Yet the waning crescent teaches us that rest is just as important as action. The energy of this phase calls for deep replenishment, for nurturing your body, mind, and spirit. It's a time to retreat from the external world, recharge your batteries, and prepare to emerge with renewed strength when the time is right. You may also notice a strong pull toward introspection and solitude. Don't resist this. Instead, embrace the stillness. It's in the quiet that your most profound insights and creative ideas will emerge. This is the time to tune into the subtle messages of your soul, to listen to your intuition without distraction, and to trust the wisdom that arises from within. It's a time of quiet revelation where you can gain clarity about your path, your purpose, and the direction in which you are headed. While the waning crescent offers the perfect opportunity to retreat, it's also a time for closure and forgiveness. Relationships, situations, or even old ways of thinking that no longer resonate with who you are in this moment must be gently released. The waning crescent urges us to let go of the need to control the future and to trust that by releasing what is no longer serving us, we open up space for new blessings, new connections, and new opportunities to come into our lives. As you enter the final days of this phase, remember that every ending is simply a precursor to a new beginning. The dark sky will soon give way to the light of the new moon, and with that will come a fresh start, a new chapter where you can set fresh intentions and embrace the opportunities that the universe will bring your way. But first, allow yourself to pause and acknowledge what has been. Give thanks for the lessons learned and gently release what is no longer serving you. Trust that everything has unfolded as it was meant to, and that by embracing this time of quiet closure, you are preparing yourself for the birth of something new and beautiful. In these final days of the waning crescent, it's essential to honor the process of letting go and cleansing. Allow the darkness of the moon to guide you in releasing fears, old habits, or anything holding you back. Reflect on what you've learned and make peace with your past. This is a time to enter the silence within, and in that silence, the space for renewal and growth will naturally emerge. When the new moon rises, you will find yourself in a state of readiness, equipped with a clean slate, open to the fresh energies that will come in. The waning crescent phase invites you to trust that all will unfold in its perfect timing. While it may feel like things are slowing down or even coming to an end, know that it's only preparing the ground for a new beginning. The dark moon phase is necessary as it gives us the time to rest, reflect, and gather our strength for the journey ahead. Be patient, be kind to yourself, and know that in your quiet moments, you are being prepared for what is to come. So as you move through the last moments of this waning crescent moon, surrender to the rhythm of the universe. Release, rest, and trust that when the time is right, a new cycle will begin, filled with potential, clarity, and opportunities. Your journey continues, but in this moment, honor the importance of stillness, reflection, and release. Allow the energy of the waning crescent to cleanse your soul, and when the new moon finally rises, you will step forward into the light with renewed purpose and a heart full of possibility. As the waning crescent moon draws to its final moments, we find ourselves standing at the threshold of a powerful shift. The lingering energies of release and surrender are like the final exhale before a new breath is taken. This is not a time to rush, nor to push against the natural course of the universe. Instead, embrace the quiet as the sacred space where transformation begins. In these final days, you are given the gift of reflection, the opportunity to examine your life and release what no longer serves your growth. In the stillness, there is much to be learned. You may find that your intuition is heightened during this phase, or that your dreams are particularly vivid and insightful. The waning crescent encourages you to pay attention to the subtle messages from your inner world. Whether it's a fleeting thought, an unexpected memory, or a recurring feeling, these messages are meant to guide you toward the clarity you seek. Allow yourself the time to process these messages without judgment, letting them illuminate the path to your next step. This is also a time to honor the cycles of your own life. Just as the moon follows a pattern of waxing and waning, so too do our lives move in cycles. Perhaps you've come to the end of a cycle, whether it's a personal project, a phase of emotional growth, or a chapter in a relationship. Acknowledge this closure and give yourself permission to step back from it. It's in this space of stillness that you can truly assess what you've gained and what is ready to be left behind. As you move through this final stage, keep in mind that not every closure needs to be dramatic. Sometimes the most powerful endings are quiet and gentle. In the waning crescent phase, there is no need for fanfare or grand gestures. The universe is asking you to trust in the subtle shifts and quiet transitions that are taking place beneath the surface. Often, the most profound transformations happen in these moments of subtlety when you least expect it. One of the most important aspects of this phase is allowing yourself the grace to rest and recharge. During periods of heightened reflection, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by all that is being processed. If you feel a desire to withdraw from the busyness of the world, do so without guilt. This is your time to replenish your energy and restore your spirit. It's okay to take a break from the pressures of productivity and embrace the peace that comes with simply being. Trust that by honoring your need for rest now, you will emerge from this phase more prepared for the new beginnings that await. Consider this time as an opportunity for self-compassion. In the rush of daily life, we often overlook our own needs and the importance of self-care. The waning crescent invites you to slow down and tend to your body, mind, and soul. Whether that means taking long walks in nature, spending quiet moments in meditation, or indulging in activities that bring you joy, now is the time to nurture yourself. Remember, by nourishing yourself during this time, you are setting the stage for greater clarity, vitality, and alignment when the new moon arrives. While it's a time of release, the waning crescent also speaks to the beauty of letting go with love. It's not about erasing the past or pretending things never happened, but rather embracing the lessons and wisdom gained along the way. There is immense power in forgiveness. Whether it's forgiving yourself for past mistakes or releasing resentment toward others, holding on to old hurts can weigh heavily on your spirit, preventing you from fully stepping into your power. In this phase, focus on releasing those emotional burdens, allowing them to dissipate like the final traces of the moon's fading light. At the same time, this phase reminds us of the inherent wisdom in cycles. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that life should be a continuous upward trajectory, but the moon teaches us that progress doesn't always look like a straight line. Sometimes it involves moments of pause, rest, and quiet reflection. The waning crescent asks you to honor this part of the journey, knowing that even in stillness, you are making progress. It is the calm before the storm, the silence before the rebirth, and the surrender before the new. As we near the arrival of the new moon, you may feel the stirrings of new beginnings on the horizon. However, remember that these new beginnings can only fully manifest once you have cleared the space to welcome them. This time of rest and release allows you to shed the weight of the old so you can rise anew with greater clarity and purpose. Trust that all the work you've done during this phase, whether it's emotional, spiritual, or physical, has prepared you for the opportunities that are coming your way. As the final slivers of the waning crescent moon slip away, take a moment to sit in quiet gratitude. Give thanks for all that has been, for the lessons learned, and for the growth that has occurred in the darkness. Know that as the new moon rises, a fresh wave of energy will begin to flow into your life. The intentions you set, the projects you've been nurturing, and the dreams you've been carrying will soon begin to take shape. But for now, embrace this moment of stillness, knowing that by honoring the waning crescent, you are preparing yourself for the beautiful new chapter that awaits. When the new moon finally emerges, you will be ready. You will be clear, strong, and aligned with the energy of renewal that the new moon brings. The cycle will begin again, but this time, you will step into it with a deeper understanding of yourself and the universe. The waning crescent phase has been a time of release, rest, and reflection, and as you move forward, you carry the wisdom of this quiet time with you into the new phase. Embrace the beauty of the transition and trust that the universe is guiding you toward exactly where you need to be. Now that you're armed with all the insights for the waning crescent moon in February 2025, remember, this phase is all about letting go and embracing the fresh energies coming your way. Take this time to reflect, heal, and set those intentions for a brighter future. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss out on more lunar wisdom. Leave a comment below and let me know how you're planning to harness this moon's energy. Until next time, stay aligned, stay grounded, and let the moon guide you.